Okay, I'd like to call to order the May 4th, 2022 Committee of the Whole meeting for the Pottstown Borough Council. If you would rise for a moment of silence, followed by the pledge to the flag. Amen. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'd like to start with speaking on behalf of Borough Council and the staff here. We offer our condolences to the Crop family. Charles Chuck Crop passed away on April 6th, and he's been a lifelong servant to the community. Served on Borough Council for 4 years. He served on the Zoning Hearing Board for 24 years, from 1980 to 2004. And we're going to miss him. Now, his relatives are still with the borough. We still have his son as a judge and his grandson as one of our finest police officers. So please do the same. Offer your condolences to their family. Okay, subcommittee reports. Infrastructure, Councilor Lebedinsky.
It's in your packet.
Got it. Once again, Vice President Lebedinsky, your efficient methods committee.
We had a meeting, but there's going to be more information for next month. So I'll send it next month.
Good. Ordinance Review Committee, Councilor Proskal.
Yeah, we did meet and we discussed downtown business hours, near the trash bins and hookah bars.
Good. And the next meeting is, you know, a few months. July. Okay. Economic Development, Ms. Lee Clark.
So want to remind everybody that the car show is this weekend. So the first, hopefully the weather will cooperate. And we also have a new business that will be opening its doors this weekend. We'll be having its grand opening on 10 South Hanover. It's a young man that works for Comcast during the day, but is being entrepreneurial evenings and weekends, and he also has a partner in this business, so they will be open on a regular basis, and it will be vintage reuse. There's some, they take vintage items and use them also in artistic pieces, so we hope you will stop by and visit them. I can't thank Mr. Hilton enough for doing his Tuesday advertorial on really reminding us of all the positive things that we have in the downtown. And so if you have not seen it, it was in the Mercury on Tuesday, and a lot of times it gets tweeted out if you hang out on Twitter like I do. But I just want to say that he talks about High Street today isn't dead, far from it. Last weekend's warm weather brought out scores of diners and social drinkers to enjoy the downtown's numerous restaurants and pub gardens, and more people live on High Street's upper floors than ever before. People complain about back-in-angle parking, but every spot was filled. So, Mr. Hilton, thank you very much. I see you are signed in up there on the screen, and I'm happy to have anybody who will remind us all of the things that we have here as an asset. I thought it would be interesting to you, the county reports. I sit on the Workforce Investment Board for the county. The borough still has the highest unemployment in the county, but we are below the state level at this point, which I think is really good news. And I don't think we should wring our hands too much about the unemployment, considering what has just happened in the last 2 years. So we are sitting at a 4.6% rate, and the state is sitting at 4.9%. The county also they are aware that during COVID, 20,000 people in the county left the workforce. So they reached out, they put people to work answering, phoning people and doing a survey. And they had an amazing response. They were able to contact over 8,000 people. And as we suspected, 35% indicated that they had retired, but there were still people who were interested in returning to work. Either they were back at work part-time, that was 58%. So we are seeing an improvement all along, but, we're certainly not back to what people would call normal.
Okay.
So that is my report tonight.
Okay, and while you're with us,
I have nothing to report for Land Bank. We did meet, it was a general business meeting, and we will be meeting again at the end of this month.
okay, thank you. Emergency Services, Chief's not here.
Yeah,
Anyone
Chief's
coming?
giving his report in West Pottsgrove tonight.
Oh, okay. Human Relations Commission, Ms. Levengood, welcome.
Good evening, councilors, President William, Madam Mayor. Jewish American Heritage Month is celebrated during the month of May. We would like to recognize the achievements, traditions, heritage, and contributions of Jewish Americans in our community. May is also Asian and Pacific Islander American Heritage Month, and we would also like to recognize the contributions and influence of the Asian Americans and the Pacific Island Americans to the culture, history, and achievements of the United States. Mother's Day, they recognize mothers, motherhood, and maternal bonds in general is this Sunday, May the 8th, and also May the 30th is Memorial Day for remembering and honoring persons who have died while serving in the United States Armed Forces. The Commission's next meeting in May will be held on Tuesday, May the 10th at 6 o'clock in council chambers, and all are invited to attend.
Very good. Library report, Ms. Lipsky.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me tonight. We are celebrating our 100th anniversary not this coming Thursday, but Thursday, May 12th. If you haven't gotten your tickets yet, you can either email me, check out the library website, or just stop in and see what all the different things that we've changed there. The other exciting thing I wanted to report is we are doing our final preparations for our summer reading program. The theme this year is Oceans of Possibilities. And we have partnered with some local organizations, including Mosaic Land Trust, Pottstown Parks and Rec, and we've hired on some performers. So we're going to try and get our summer reading back to its glory before the pandemic. And we're also going to be doing some story walks again this year. So stay tuned for all of that. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Rickett Center, Counselor Kirkland, anything to add?
Yes.
Good.
I just want to read a few highlights here. First of all, the library. You still do passports there?
Yes, we do.
Okay, awesome. Because I just want to get a little shout out to your library as far as passports go. I got my passport like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. Awesome experience.
Yep.
Awesome. I mean, from start to finish, I mean, the pictures, the application, everything right there at your local library. I mean, it was, the people were nice. They took you from one station to the next station and just took care of you. And, just everything was perfect, because I know that the travel season is coming up. People are going to be traveling during the summer, taking planes here or there. If you don't have your passport, your local library, it's all right there. Get it all done.
Good.
So, okay. Ricketts. Current enrollment is 575. I remember a few months ago, I was saying we're just getting over 500. Now it's 575. We'll be at 600 pretty soon. New members this month was 54 new members this month. The current, the opening hours normally is Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Is the fitness center on Sunday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. After school program runs from 2:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. The youth daily attendance has jumped significantly. They were doing around 25 to 30 a couple months ago. Now they're doing 45 to 50. The adult programming also increased. The gymnasium hours for the adults is 11 to 2. The Soccer for Success is still an ongoing program. It's a non-curriculum based soccer play. We attempt to look for additional staffers. So we're looking for people to help with the soccer program. They still have the karate program, which is run by the Philadelphia School of Korean Karate. That's on Monday and Wednesdays from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's free for everyone 7 years and older to join. Again, the fitness center has seen a lot of growth. People are signing on to their fitness program because you get personal assistance from Paul. Paul Winterbottom there. He's awesome. He's great. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's been in this for years, at least 30 years or longer than that, I think. He's been doing it for a long time, and he knows exactly what he's doing. He looks like he's 25, 30 years old to me. I don't know, but he's awesome. He's very supportive, very supportive. Bread of Life shower and laundry program. That was a night program, but they're moving it starting May 2nd, which already passed. They moved it to morning because of more flexibility and it's less competitive with other programs that's going on. The Red Royal Diamond Dance Club, that's going on too. Monday and Wednesdays from 5:30 to 7 p.m. 5:30 to 7. The basketball program also is going on every Tuesday and Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m. Goals, the outlook, they continue to look towards adding more adult programs and building usage during the daytime hours, looking to add such things as yoga and Zumba classes, as well as different educational classes for adults in the community. The building updates, as far as the basketball court, there are going to be some renovations going on in May, including the fencing, the blacktop repairs, bleacher installation, and new lighting. All work will be done as the weather permits through the month. So that will be my report.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay. Pottstown School District, Counselor Lindsay.
May 12th at 7:00 p.m., Pottstown High School will have a spring concert. So, and it's outside. So if you not doing anything, because there's so much to do in Pottstown, go check out the high school. And also, the school district is hiring. I said this last month, so I'm gonna say it again. If you know anybody, or if you're interested in working at the school, please go on their website. They have a list of job openings there. So apply. That's it for me.
Okay, thank you. Madam Mayor.
Good evening. Since last time, I can't believe it's May already, we had the opening of our King Street Bridge, which I was pleasantly surprised that it opened so quickly. I know there was some people complaining how long it took, but it was 2 years during a pandemic with environmental and governmental delays. So I think 2 years is pretty job well done, and that's a beautiful, beautiful bridge. So I just want to thank everyone who got that up so quickly. We had Deer Day, Drop Everything and Read Day. I know that Ryan participated. Did you go in person?
I did.
I was, for some reason, virtual for the kindergarten and read Go Dog Go and The Tale of Peter Rabbit. And they seemed to enjoy it. Did you read? Who'd you read to?
I read Dragons Love Tacos 1 and 2.
Nice. 1 and 2. Well, they have it every year, so next year. I also assisted Pottstown Community Action in yard cleanup for Mrs. Boswell, who lives on Beach Street across from the Ricketts Center. And I took pictures of her next door neighbor at 653 Beach Street, which is an abandoned property and has some issues. And Justin, I just sent you those pictures, so just a heads up, sorry for the delay. Pottstown Community Arts hosted Easter egg hunt and crafts. I would like to thank Sergeant Hatfield and Officer Dice for helping us and the Easter Bunny decorate the sidewalks in chalk eggs, and they helped dyeing Easter eggs with the kids. Speaking of shining examples of our police department, Stephen Dice has been with our police department since 2005. And I love this. His favorite quote is from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Says, "Faith is taking the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase." So if you would like our youth to learn more about the exceptional officers in our community, please consider a $100 sponsorship for our police card trading program. If you are interested, please email me at shenrick@pottstown.org if you are interested. I also had the pleasure of attending the Chamber's 9 and 5 series membership breakfast. Madeline Dean and her son, Harry Cunan, shared their experiences with addiction and treatment from their book, Under Our Roof. I actually read the book beforehand. And I highly recommend reading it. It's a really easy read, and it shows a side of addiction that you may not think about when you're looking at the homeless people in our community. I posted about this on social media and the care and treatment centers, which helped Harry get through his addiction. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who hosted that event and for Harry and Madeline for writing the book, because one person reached out to me, an acquaintance, the next day. And the following day was already in care and signed up receiving treatment for their addiction. So it really does make a difference, and I appreciate them sharing that. We also had our Montgomery County Community College celebrate its 25th anniversary. That was a wonderful event. It was nice to see all the county commissioners, state and house reps, and everyone in the community out there. It was a really nice spread and wonderful fireworks afterwards. We also had our climate march from the Hill School to Smith Family Plaza and attended the Eco Fest. I would like to thank Larry Cohen, the borough, the organizers, and the vendors and the volunteers for putting that together. Next year, I'd like to see a little more participation in the march. So maybe if we could get the word out a little sooner, then we can have more of an impact. It was really nice to see on Earth Day the numerous amount of cleanup groups in town, businesses, organizations, just people in the community, Cosmic Art Studio, the college. I mean, people were posting all over the amount of trash they were picking up. I did the cleanup with Phi Theta Kappa from Montgomery County Community College, and we cleaned up King Street and swept the streets and picked up glass and weeded. And so I would like to thank everyone for their efforts. I also signed the National Wildlife Federation Mayor's Monarch Pledge and plan to support and expand monarch conservation efforts across the borough. More on that to come later. Don't worry, we're just gonna have to plant like some butterfly bushes. Okay. Not butterfly bushes, pollinator plants. I attended Emmanuel Wilkerson's fundraiser, and I'd like to thank Chuck Galati and Sunnybrook for hosting that wonderful event. And last weekend, It was a busy weekend if you were in town. I attended Edgewood Cemetery cleanup and art fair. Thank you, Andrew Monastra and Bronwyn Damasio and all the volunteers and organizers. That was looked like a very successful event. There were a lot of vendors. And the powwow, Ron Williams put together an amazing program, as always. I think it is, actually, I like it a lot better at Riverfront than at Memorial, and it was just so well attended. And it was nice to see a lot of additional vendors. And also, we had the YMCA Healthy Kids Day that day. And Sunday, I don't know if you saw, but the goat races, Sly Fox. It's a lot of people. Princess Jenny was once again the winner. She is
Three-legged.
three-year undefeated champion. Just to let you know, she allegedly is retiring. So if you have a goat, it's time to start training now for next year. So that was last month. Now, coming up for this month, we're in May, right? All right, so starting last week, so on this Saturday, and every Saturday from 12:45 p.m. to 2, my favorite yoga instructor, Patty Siegel, will be teaching a class at the beer garden, followed by mimosas. So I don't know what's better than yoga and mimosas on a Saturday, but it's $16 and puppies, yes, I'll bring baby goats. So 12:45 to 2, $16, mimosa and yoga. May 7th at 6 p.m., car show season begins. Also, May 7th, Heritage Field Airport in Limerick is having their spring 70s to 90s fling hanger dance. From 5 to 10, there'll be live music, dinner, and dancing featuring band Philly Rock and Soul. You can get tickets online at www.paop.info. May 12th is our 100th anniversary celebration for the Pottstown Library. Also, May 12th, 19th, and the 26th, the YWCA is having free virtual events from 6 to 7:30 p.m. There are financial empowerment workshops, and they focus on credit repair, getting ready for homeownership, and basic tips about cryptocurrency. I would highly recommend taking advantage of these free programs from the YW. May 14th is also the Pottstown Police Officers Association Fishing Derby from 8 to noon at Memorial Park. Also, May 14th is the Walk for Hope. It's a walk for those who have lost loved ones to addiction in the heart of bringing awareness to the opioid crisis, which I will also be participating in, and that is from 10 a.m. to, I have 11:30 p.m. I don't think that's correct. Starts at 10 a.m. from Goodwill to Carousel. Also, May 14th is the Veterans Island cleanup at Memorial Park from 8 to noon. May 14th is busy, if you can see. We need a lot of people and a lot of hands on deck. Also, May 14th, it is opening day of the farm. When I read this, I couldn't believe it because I was like, this is summer. I'm in the wrong email, and realized it's May and summer is here. So the farm opens this May 14th from 9 to 1, and that is Teacher Appreciation Day. If you bring your ID, you can receive discounts. May 21st, don't worry, I'm just doing May, I promise, I'm cutting it off. May 21st at 6:30, Schuylkill River Greenways move their ribbon cutting to that day, which is going to start around 6:30, and then it's going to be followed by the International Paddling Film Festival, which is going to be hosted by Video Rage. So I'm excited about that. And then May 30th is the Memorial Day Parade, which starts at 10 a.m. at Goodwill and goes to Veterans Island. And I just have a couple announcements. Sorry. busy. Registration is open for the Schuylkill River Sojourn. It's the third week of June, and it's coming through Pottstown, I believe, June 20th. You can sign up for the whole week. You can sign up for one day. Art Fusion, please check their websites for summer camps for kids, and there are available scholarships, ages 5 through 8, 11 to 14, and 7 through 12. The YWCA also has a Women's Empowerment 360 program. It supports women and women of color who want to start or grow businesses and helps them overcome barriers and provides them with educational tools needed to succeed. These are also free virtual community classes. They have courses, they have coaches, and more. If you are interested to learn more and would like to register, I believe it's work at your own pace. The website is tinyurl.com/we360. I'd also like to remind everyone that Victims Services Center of Montgomery County offers 24-hour crisis intervention. They provide services for victims of sexual violence and other crimes against the person for the victim and their loved ones. They have free counseling from ages 5 and up, advocacy and education. They will come with you to the police department. They will come with you to the hospital. And they will come with you to any court appearances if you need to go to and help walk you through everything. If you or someone you know is a victim, please call 888-521-0983 or go to victimservicecenter.org. And thank you. That concludes my report, and may the 4th be with you all.
Very good. Would you be interested in entering the goat race?
Yes.
I may or
So
may
if
not
we
have
counsel-
already,
If we council could arrange for a goat to run with you, I don't know if you were a sprinter or not.
I don't need to sprint. The goat needs to sprint. You're going to have a hard time explaining to your constituents why you're going to let goats in the borough, though.
You don't own them.
I'm going to own them. They're going to eat all your poison ivy.
Okay. And for the manager's report.
All right, good evening, everyone, and thank you. We've quite a lot going on here in the borough, and I have some updates to pass along too. The annual drinking water consumer confidence report for water quality in the borough has been posted to the website. There were no abnormalities noted, and all the parameters tested remain well below the average maximum contaminant levels. Update on Pico paving, as you can see, Pico is currently paving High Street between Charlotte and Price Street, so they are out there today working on that, trying to finish up, and then they should be done by late this week, weather pending, or early next week, and then the last thing they'll have to do is come in and do the line striping, so that's getting well underway. The Borough Spring newsletter is now available on the Borough website, so check out the various park and rec programs being offered, as well as events and information on Borough projects as well. And then also look out for our announcements for Water Play Wednesday, which is back again this year and being run by the Parks and Rec Department. So this will be the same as it was last year. We'll shut down a block and open up the fire hydrants, and people can come out and get wet and play in the water. And we'll post that on our Facebook page prior to the event, so stay tuned for that if you'd like to partake. There's one thing that I do want to share with everyone today. So with the help of the police department and the fire department and PAID, we were able to kind of standardize our planning for major events in the downtown. So this map was prepared and it's going to be shared on social media and our website. What this shows here is for the upcoming car show this weekend, but it's intended that this map will be pretty much standard for the car show or the Go Forth, we just may have to alter the area where the road's closed a little bit. But what we are changing here is we are providing new directional signage to direct people to event parking and also parking if they're just coming for the downtown businesses. Also signage that will allow them to detour through the different areas in town if they're not coming to the event and they're just trying to get through town. So on this map, we indicate the areas of roads that will be closed in red. And then we also indicate 2 detour routes, a green detour and an orange detour. The orange detour is more of a south and westerly detour, and the green is more of a north and easterly detour around the area. We also, as we did last year, if you're coming into town off of Hanover Street, there will be a sign that will say, event parking and downtown business parking ahead, and then you can park in lot number 1 or lot number 7 as shown in the map. Or we will also be turning Queen Street and South Charlotte Street into a 2-way street so that you can come in off of Hanover Street, turn on the Queen Street alley, get into the parking in that area, and also get into lot number 2. So we're hoping that by standardizing this, it will help everyone to kind of get used to when we have an event downtown, this is how you get around, this is what the closure is going to look like, and it'll be the same detour every time with the exception of parades. This won't apply to parades, but virtually every other event. So check that out, send that to your business patrons if they're not sure where to go, and this should help them get to where they need to be.
I was gonna say, is that on the Borough site?
It's up on, I think it's up on Facebook right now.
Facebook, okay.
If not, it will be soon, and then we can work on getting that on the website. Yeah,
I did see it today.
yeah.
It's on our Facebook, Pottstown Borough site or Parks and Rec.
So we really listened to the residents and some of the concerns and the downtown businesses when we have these events, still making sure that if they're coming not for the event, they can still get through town or they can still get to the local businesses there. So that's just an update there, and big shout out to Jeanette Wilson at Paid for helping us put that together as well. So another update for you, Amtrak, they pushed back their start date for the express bus service between Reading and Philadelphia to May 16th. So we're currently working with them to make sure everything is in place, and we've also installed a bus shelter on Hanover Street at the Reading lot that will be for those bus patrons. So look soon for them to be releasing their official schedule, and then also for a big kickoff celebration that we're going to have as well. We also issued a support letter for the formation of a regional rail authority between Berks, Chester, and Montgomery counties. Montgomery County did approve their participation in the authority last week, so that is the group that's being put together for the passenger rail service through Amtrak in the future. On the grants, we're grateful to receive the $500,000 in RCAP monies from DCED to go towards the repair of the stormwater arch at 1200 High. The grant does require a 50% match, so we're currently looking at different programs that would be able to match that. And at the end of April, we applied to the Montgomery County Redevelopment Program, or the Recovery Office, I should say, for an additional $6 million in funding for stormwater arch repairs, which could be used to satisfy this match requirement. So announcements are expected in the second or third quarter of this year, so we should find out. Just an update on the lead service grant that the authority took part in. You may have seen that was awarded for $6 million. The authority applied for $6 million in a grant, and PennBest awarded $3 million in a loan and approximately $3 million in a grant. And we were upfront with them at the beginning that we were not going to take the loan, but they still awarded us the loan and told us that we could not get out of taking loan. If we take the grant, we have to take the loan. So The authority is possibly, they did vote to reject it, but we're leaving the door open until the end of the year to see if we can work something out with Penvest that's going to meet our needs. Our big thing from the authority standpoint is that there are other programs out there between the infrastructure fund, the recovery office funds that will fund lead line replacements that do not require us to undergo a financing and incur financing fees. So we want to explore those options before we make a final determination there. And to that end, we did also apply to the Montgomery County Recovery Office for $6 million in lead line service replacements as well.
We're meeting on that next week.
I believe, yeah, we do have a meeting coming up on that. And also big thanks to Chief Hand, Jerry Keswick, he's here. Also Courtney High for their work and effort to bring the new pumper fire truck to the borough's fleet. So if you recall, this was paid for mostly through a DCED grant. And the truck has some really nice features that are modern, including perimeter cameras that'll just help everyone be safer when they're driving the equipment and when around the equipment, as well as quick slide access for tools, hoses, and other equipment. You know, really the timing was a great purchase for us. We put in the purchase 2 years ago when we got the grant. And I talked to the manufacturer when he delivered it last week, and he said the same model, if we purchased it today, it would be $200,000 more. So we did have the timing really good there. And we want to celebrate the new truck and also all the borough apparatus next Monday night at 6 o'clock. We're going to park them out in the parking lot, and we invite public, council, mayor, anyone that would like to attend and see the borough's array of fire equipment. I don't know if we'll have them all there, but we'll have most of them there for people to take a look at and take a look at the new truck as well. That concludes my report.
Okay, so that's next Monday, the 11th.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
Monday the
great,
11th.
6 o'clock.
At 6 o'clock? Monday,
Uh,
You don't have a meeting.
what do I have here?
Oh, Monday, the 9th.
The 9th.
The 9th.
He said 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock.
Oh, you're right.
6 o'clock on the 9th. Yeah.
Okay.
So next Monday, 6 o'clock.
Thank you.
Good. Okay.
Busy.
I know, it's a lot going on.
Okay, how about the conditional offer of employment for 2 candidates?
Yeah, so there's a
Ready?
slight correction to this agenda item. It says 2 conditional offers, but we only have one more candidate left on the list. So the police department is requesting to hire 1 new officer to replace some of the to replace officers that are either out or that are planned to retire in the near future. That we are anticipating those. And it'll also, by hiring this position now, it'll allow them to partake in the July Police Academy, and then they should get through all their training and be able to be fully activated to the force before the end of the year.
Great.
And then the next item on the agenda kind of dovetails into that. In addition to not having any more willing candidates on the list expires in June 2022, so we would like to see council's authorization for 1 new officer and also to create a new civil service list.
Okay, so we'll approve that Monday night.
Yep.
11 is the tax forgiveness for Washington Street.
Yes, so I'm gonna let Peggy Lee Clark take the lead on that. I know she has a brief presentation to make on behalf of the candidate.
So, this property and all that has gone on with it, I think we've updated you several times. We were most recently here in February. You granted a special exception because the roof needed to be put on and a permit needed to be granted. We are asking tonight to make sure that we just move on with this and that we get a permanent forgiveness of all taxes and fees on the former encumbrances. A very good news, on April 30th, 2022, for the first time in over 10 years, the borough received revenue from this property in the amount of $14,733. So the payment has come. It was processed on April 30th. The property now has an approved DEP remediation plan. Pottstown really has a greatly improved property at this point, something that I truthfully do not believe anybody else would have taken on. It sat there for many years. It would have continued to decay, and it would continue to be an environmental concern. This property has been cleaned up. The current owner has put in over $820,000 into this property, which is more than the tax encumbrance from the authority and the borough that was over that 10-year period where taxes and fees were not paid. So, which was a total of $222,566.74. If the ISRP grant application is not funded come the governor's or the state's next budget, which should be passed by June 30th, we hope, that owner will then be responsible and have to put in his own vapor barrier for the final piece of remediation, which will take his personal investment to $1.2 million. He has done everything that he agreed to do on the property. He is continuing to do, and that is without fit out for a tenant. So you can see that this has been a costly investment, but one that he has been committed to. The roof is now on, and I would like to just show you some pictures to remind you where we've been. So there is targeted business recruitment going on. One of the things that he has agreed, and I will be sharing this with you, I have handouts for you. We went through the zoning approval or the zoning for flex office space and have gone through and stricken anything that is not desirable or that would not be an employer for the borough. So these targeted business recruitments, these are not new to you. You should, you saw these at the, and they continue to be, you saw these at the joint meeting back in September with the school board. So advanced manufacturing, a medical device production of some sort, information technology employees, or a distilling operation. Probably not distilling at this point because of just the size of it. There could be two. Because of the size, it can be separated into two different suites or warehouse space. Warehouse is one of the uses in flex office. You will notice when you get this paper that there is an asterisk. He does understand and does not want anything that would just simply be a storage facility. We are only leaving the warehouse facility in for places like Eastwood that are Amazon, Target, places that employ people. If you do not sign off on final forgiveness, we will be back every time they need a permit. And the work is just continuing on with this property. The owner has already committed to at least 2 years of ownership, which aligns with the approval you gave in February 2022. He has no desire to sell the property, and requiring him to hold it longer than that would potentially discourage people in the marketplace. I get calls every day of people that are willing to have a lease purchase situation, but they are not willing to just lease warehousing space or advanced manufacturing space. There is a lot of opportunity within these industries that they want to be able to own the bricks, so to speak. So requiring longer than a 2-year hold could be detrimental to the marketing of this property for the marketplace. The owner has several tax-producing properties in town. All have been improved, and he is an employer of a primary company here. So I just want to remind you of the way that it looks, or it looked in the past. This is what you started with. You can just keep going, Justin. So the tank in the bottom right-hand corner has been removed. All of that I don't know what it is, liquid that is in the top right-hand corner as you're looking at the screen. That has all been remediated, and that area has been completely filled in. The drums on the bottom, the second one in from the left, they have all been removed. The property has been shored up, cameras have been added, it's been fenced so people cannot just wander in there. The trees and the landscaping have already been cleaned up. Next. These have all been removed as part of the environmental remediation. And so this is the future. We tried today to get a better picture of the roof. You can't really see the roof, but if you noticed in the former pictures, there was, it was black, the edging was black, this is all white. The entire roof was taken off, and now it has a substantial roof, so there will be less, there won't be the decay that was happening for many, many years with the absence of a roof, a sufficient roof. And then the next two pictures are the renderings of when the property is fit out. This is from the architectural firm that they are working with. So I'm happy to answer any questions. As I said, I have a handout going over the details that I just went over. We are respectfully asking that you give it consideration that the fees attributed in the public encumbrances be removed for 215 South Washington. And then also the zoning, which shows you which items have been stricken from the zoning in Flex office. Okay, we'll get you in. You should have been in when the roof was off. Yeah, the roof was, I thought, oh, this is better, I think.
Yeah.
But, you know, Pottstown now has a clean property. That is something that they didn't have for a lot of years, and that is a very visible building on a very visible road. And it has had, as I said, it's had over $800,000 in personal investment in it already. And if the $496,000 is not ponied up by the state, I'm sorry, that's $439,000 is not funded by the state. He's too far down the road. He's going to fund that $439,000, which will take it up to $1.2 million, which means that is no walls, right?
It makes sense to clear it now than, like you said, having to come back.
Correct. We
For
would
every
have to
single
come
permit
back
or
each time.
waiver.
That is correct.
I no longer have a conflict of interest, so I fully support who made their tax liability. This project has been ongoing for quite some time, and so there's a lot of work.
I thought we had an agreement to do so.
You do, but
Yeah.
it was a conditional until he got title to the property, until everything was complete.
So what does it take?
Takes a vote on Monday night to.
No, for whatever conditions have to be met.
Oh, the conditions are met. It was the cleanup, it was him taking title to the property, and that he presented, that he would present to you the plans for the building. And zoning, I mean, he's agreeing, right, in zoning, that's what we're giving.
Whatever is saying it won't be used for. I'm not sure how we would enforce that without some type of recorded agreement against the property. We could talk about that, but I don't, just want to make council aware that that would be a difficult enforcement issue down the road, even after 2 years if the owner decided not to own the property anymore. So I don't know how you would bind future owners unless it was recorded against the title to the property.
For a deed restriction?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what it would have to be.
So it could be filed as a deed restriction.
Yes, yeah, that's what I was suggesting as what would have to be done in order to be enforceable. Simply a commitment by the owner verbally or in writing without a recorded document against the real estate, I don't think would be enforceable.
Chuck, would we still need the business plan?
Well, Dan, that's up to council. That was the original conditional approval that
Yeah,
council had
that's what I thought.
provided.
I thought there were
So
two,
that's
I
up
can
to
only
you
think
guys.
of two things. I thought it was a plan and something else.
Yeah, the
A
release.
release.
Oh,
It was a
okay.
release of a separate claim on a separate property by the same owner.
Oh,
And I'm not aware that a release has been provided, at least at this point.
okay.
My understanding, he's willing to sign the release.
So it's just a matter of a business plan?
Correct.
The difficulty of the business plan is the fact that yes, there is a business plan, but the idea of pinning it down to one type of tenant is very difficult at this point.
All right. Over the years, I've helped write a lot of business plans for different operations. And a number of those, one of them being the New York Plaza, the owner didn't know who the tenant would be. It was just a matter of projection of income and cash flow. I'm gonna get so much a square foot and, everything else as far as revenue, and that's all it took. And I know we went to the banks with that for borrowing. So would we need anything more than a generic like that?
I think that's up to council. Because we didn't really define what the business plan was, and, essentially, if you guys are.
We haven't seen one.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Well, the outline's there. If he had a basic, I don't know, you're talking about per square foot rentals?
Well, I don't know what he's basing the revenue on.
Yeah, that's the critical part of it. Can we just get like a generic number that he's looking at receiving per square foot?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a range number without,
Yes.
You have your business, you have the business plan, except for it seems like the financial side's the only thing that's missing is what it looks like. So, if we could just add that, I think we'd be in decent shape.
Yeah, I thought we had an agreement it was gonna go, so. Yeah. Anyone else, or? Okay.
Is that doable?
Yes.
Okay, so they can talk to Chuck and make it acceptable for us? Okay,
yeah, we can get a call set up tomorrow or Friday and try to
okay,
work through some of this.
yeah.
At what point does he plan to bring the building to this level that we're looking at now?
As soon as he can, so he has been waiting, frankly, to have the vapor barrier. That's the last piece, right? The vapor barrier, which is the floor, which that would be July at the earliest that funding would be approved from the state. And then from there, once that is done, he continues to work on this building. So I would say we've had some people that have contacted us for interest. He would like to have it rented and fully occupied as soon as possible, October or November. So he plans to go quickly.
So he's looking to have that funding and have some guaranteed revenue before he's willing to go this far with it?
He'll continue to do the updates. He's continuing to work on the updates. He won't wait, but obviously, yes, a tenant to provide cash flow is desirable to him as soon as possible. But in its current form, it's very difficult for people to say, oh, yes, I'm gonna rent this.
Right.
Especially with the fact that we're waiting for the state to get us approval on ISRP money, which is the environmental money. And as you all know, the state budget does not finish up until June 30th. They have till June 30th at midnight. So, and then it's whether that line is funded, the ISRP is funded, and whether or not, they've already accepted the letter of intent. They've already indicated at the state that they believe, the project is a good project, but it is a matter of the budget line being funded and what ultimately they decide which projects they're gonna fund throughout the Commonwealth.
Talk with our representatives?
Always. Several times.
Oh, no.
Right, yeah, we have. We continue to talk with our representatives.
Yeah.
They're all very aware of this project. We did ask one of our representatives if they would be willing to see if they could get a legislative
Right.
before June
Yes, that's what I had in mind.
commitment. Right. We have been unsuccessful to this point. As I saw yesterday, that the revenues at the state were above projections. So we're very hopeful that this is going to happen.
Right.
But
So just to clarify, the membrane and then the pouring of the concrete floor, that's the last thing that they need to do before they can get a clean bill of health from
That's
DEP
right.
and EPA.
That's right.
And he's gonna wait until June or July to see if money comes through ISRP, but if the money doesn't come through, he's going to do that himself.
Correct.
Okay.
He's too far.
Because
into the
otherwise, he's gotta
building.
wait another year.
Right,
Well,
he
so
can't wait.
could he
another-
fund it now and just get reimbursed?
No.
No, you
Can't
cannot
do
do
that.
that.
Okay.
No. And in fact, he has been doing everything he possibly can to work on the building that doesn't affect that piece of it.
Anything else? Anyone? All right, so you'll make a call tomorrow?
Yep, we'll get a meeting set up and
Very
try to
good.
work through this.
Thank you.
Oh, we want it there.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Thank you, that's okay.
Thank you.
Oh, maybe it is.
Okay, Pottstown Little League, Novak Complex and assignment of a lease agreement. What's up?
Yes, so,
Well, they merged.
this is pretty straightforward, yeah, so what happened, Pottstown Little League merged with Pottsgrove Little League, our lease names Pottstown Little League, so we would essentially like to assign the lease to the new entity.
Okay. Any problem? We'll list that for Monday. I did skip one, Upper Pottsgrove Township Support Agreement.
Honestly. I was gonna ask if everyone could put themselves on mute right now, because we're getting some feedback here. Let me see if that works.
Just Upper Potts.
Okay, yeah, so, you should be on number 12, I believe.
Mhm. 13 I have.
We're on 12, so, this is, the Pottstown Borough Authority I&I recommendation matrix.
Okay.
And the $50,000, annual contribution. So, this is just kind of for your informational purposes tonight, to update you on what the authority has been working on over the past year in terms of I&I. They've recently formed a steering committee to review the current rules and policies to identify the causes and reduce the levels of inflow and infiltration, also known as I&I, getting into the sewer treatment system, which increases the cost for everyone's bill if we have to treat extra water that shouldn't be getting in there. So as some may know, infiltration occurs from cracks in pipes, or prohibited stormwater connections to the sanitary sewer, among other items. The authority has, as a part of their goal to reduce I&I, they're replacing approximately 1% of sewer mains each year to help combat this. But what we found was that in the areas where the authority has already replaced the sewer main, we're still getting fairly high levels of I&I. So what this tells us is that the issue is not just on the main side, but also on the private side. So the committee decided to look for possible causes on private properties and examine policies and procedures for 4 primary areas. So sewer laterals, floor drains, sump pumps, and roof or foundation drains. And the chart that was attached looks at the current borough requirements for enforcement, inspection, and it also offers recommendations which came from the committee. So although at this time the authority is not recommending wholesale changes or really any changes to our ordinance or enforcement, there was a consensus among the committee that more accurate data needs to be collected to determine the magnitude of the issues, whether these issues are consigned to certain geographic areas, and then recommend consideration of future pilot programs based on the data collected. So really it's just taking these 4 items, putting them onto an L&I checklist that they'll be responsible for collecting and checking for the presence of these items at the time of property transfer or rental inspection. With again, there's really only 2 that we're currently enforcing. If you have an illegal sump pump connection to the sanitary at the time of your inspection, that has to be rectified. Same thing with roof leaders. If that's going into your sanitary line, that has to be rectified. But for everything else, they're just going to make note of it. You're not going to get a pass-fail. If your downspout is directed into the street, or if you have issues with the lateral, as long as it's not overflowing. But we just want to start to catalog this so that we can start to identify targeted areas where we need to make a better effort and determine how we want to go about that and develop a policy and procedure for it. So once we collect enough data, we'll look to take a proactive approach where I&I predominates. And as I mentioned, one of the items we continue to enforce is sump pump connections to the sanitary system. We're a little bit unique in that we have very small properties, and a lot of the properties, especially once you get north of High Street, are constrained with red shale, so it doesn't allow the water to percolate into the property. So what we've allowed people to do on a case-by-case basis is to take their sump pump and actually discharge it into the street so that it can get into our stormwater system. Over the years, as we've allowed this, it creates problems with water on the roadway. It degrades our roadways a lot quicker, meaning that we have to pave them more often if we constantly have water running down them. Also, the water in the wintertime freezes. So this creates a problem also for the roadway degradation, but also for cars actually getting stuck in this. So to help mitigate this concern, the authorities graciously approved a $50,000 annual contribution to the borough to install stormwater inlets in areas where sump pumps are problems. This will help the borough to address these more proactively in the future, and actually it'll be similar to the program that we currently have going on, where we're able to get a county grant for $200,000 to fund installation of additional stormwater pipe and inlets on Gray Street to address this very issue. We hope to get started on that later this summer and finish up in the fall. And again, so if you want to take a look at the matrix, if you have any thoughts on it, it's posted on the agenda. Feel free to get in touch with me.
Okay.
Yeah, my front gutter was originally right into my sewer, so I can see where it's different.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I did 14, now it's 13. Upper Pottsgrove.
Yeah, so if you recall, this is related to the sale of Upper Pottsgrove's sewer system. The authority approved at their last meeting, the authority's solicitor Vince Pompo to work on revising the current support agreement with Upper Pottsgrove Township, mainly as it relates to the timing of the sale of the sewer system and the borough's and the township's responsibilities for billing. So while no firm date has yet been set by the township for closing on the sale to PA America, it's expected to happen before the end of the year. And if you may also recall, the borough administers the water and the sewer billing for Upper Pottsgrove Township, and then the township reimburses the borough for those administrative costs. Under the original agreement, the borough was to stop billing and collecting on sewer charges at the time of sale to PA American, or when the sale closed. And again, this only pertains to the sewer bill. We will still have water customers that will continue to pay the borough of Pottstown that are located in Upper Pottsgrove Township. So the township has requested, and staff have reviewed it and agrees that it will cause less confusion to continue billing and collecting until the sale is closed, and then we would continue collecting only through the end of the year. So this avoids the township having, at the time of sale, having to send out a partial bill, and then the township having to collect and remit that payment back to the borough. All the legal costs would be covered by the township, and the township will continue to reimburse the borough for collecting amounts through the end of the year. And again, the authority is in agreement with this change, and we're asking the borough to authorize Vince Pompo to work on revising the agreement, which the borough is also a party to. If agreeable, the revisions will be made, and then still need to come back for the borough, the authority, PUC, and Upper Pottsgrove Township for final approval in the upcoming months. So there is a draft letter that will be going out to residents in May to explain all of this, and that is on our website for council to review.
Okay.
Are there any questions?
Hearing none, we'll listen for Monday.
Great.
15, the DCED resolution.
Yes, so these are for, this is a companion funding to the previously submitted DCNR application for upgrades to aging facilities and equipment at Chestnut and South Street Parks. With the DCNR grant that we already applied for, council already committed over $60,000 in matching funds. If we're successful in receiving the DCED funding and the DCNR, there will be no match requirement for the borough. If the DCED grant is awarded, only a 20% match is required, or around $50,000.
Okay.
So we'd like to ask for council approval to submit that application.
All right, we'll do that Monday evening. 16, Parks and Rec Patriotic 5K.
Yep, so this is their annual 5K that they conduct each year, I believe in Riverfront Park and Keystone, right?
I'm not sure where it used to be at the middle school, I'm not sure where it's landing.
Various streets around the
Okay, so various streets around the Ricketts Center. The application is on there if you wanna check it out. But I think it's the same route that we used last year.
Questions? Okay, we'll list that. 17, the park budget for fiscal years 22, 23.
Yes, so PART operates on a fiscal year, and we're asking for your review and approval of next year's operating budget in the amount of $2.843 million. You'll note that this is actually about $700,000 less than the previous 2 years, primarily because these budgets included the purchase of a new fleet of buses, which is now complete.
Got it. Okay, we can review that over the weekend and handle it Monday evening. 18 is a resolution for the park operating budget.
Yes, so,
Okay.
yes, to also remind you that PART is primarily federally funded. So we're asking council to approve a resolution to certify the part operating funding of $1.675 million and to certify the local match of $109,142, which is secured through funding. The local match is secured through funding by Montgomery and Chester counties.
Got it. Okay. And we'll handle that Monday evening. 19, the Hill School Turf Field Minor Land Development. Chuck?
Yeah, thank you, Dan. Good evening, everyone. I believe council last month heard a presentation from the Hill School's engineer regarding the new turf field project.
Yes.
At that time, the Planning Commission had not made a formal recommendation with respect to some tree issues that were still outstanding at the property. So the plan went back to the Planning Commission at the April meeting. The Planning Commission has now made a recommendation. The Hill School, I believe, is in agreement. The ordinance requires trees along Jackson Street for a number of reasons. The Hill School would not like to plant those trees along Jackson Street. 10 are required by your ordinance. The Hill School is willing to pay a fee in lieu of those trees, $500 per tree for 10 trees, or $5,000. The other required trees per the ordinance would actually be planted at or around the field site. So they would be compliant with your ordinance with respect to number of open space or shade trees. That's not an issue. We've calculated the fee in lieu of open space to be $9,450. There would be some waivers that would be required from this plan. And I believe the Hill School has also graciously agreed to donate to the borough a $15,000 contribution that would be used for security cameras, equipment, and maintenance of those cameras, in addition to everything else that they've offered under this proposal. So we'll have a motion for you on Monday night for the conditions of plan approval. There'll be a motion regarding the waivers. I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have on the plan, but if you recall, it's just putting in a new turf field at the far fields, and certainly will upgrade that area, make it look a lot nicer. Are there any questions?
Did they give any reason for not wanting to plant the plants along the street?
I think, Joe, they had taken some trees down that were diseased. And again, I think for vista purposes, and there's really not a lot of room along the street to place the trees where they belong. The planting strip's very narrow. So the only other option would have been put them back on the Hill School property. And they weren't inclined to want to put them back that far. So I think that's the reason. Planning Commission was okay with that. But ultimately, it's your call.
Any other questions? Okay, we'll list that for action Monday evening. Thanks, Chuck.
Sure.
20, Red Horse Motoring Car Show, Beer Gardens, June 4, July 2nd, August 6, September 3, and October 1.
Yes, that's correct. They kind of missed the deadline to get it in for May, but they would like to start the beer gardens in June.
Okay.
This would be in Smith Family Plaza, so they're also submitting a application to the FTA for approval of that use as well.
Very good. Okay, list that for Monday. 21 is the Independence Day Parade.
Yep, the Independence Day Parade is back. Rotary is requesting High Street to be closed from Madison to Manatawny, 9 a.m. to 11:30.
Same as last year. Yeah. Okay, list that one for approval. 22, Harb, 726 East High Street. They want to put on an addition of 255 square feet for the crematory viewing area.
Yeah, that's correct. So this is a small addition. Harb had taken a look at it, and they feel like it kind of meets the requirements for the district, so they would like council's approval on that.
Okay.
It's also attached to the agenda if anyone wants to pull
Right.
it up and take a look at it.
Anything? All right, list that. And 23 is the Harb administratively approved. 125 North Hanover Street and 1023 East High. There are more. No, those two are there. And now, we'll entertain the comments from any citizens.
All right, at this time, we have Deborah Spence, please. You have 3 minutes. Ms. Spence, I think you're on mute if you're trying to speak.
Yes, good evening. I am requesting a response to my proposal that I submitted over a year and a half ago regarding my green placemaking proposal for a mini dog park that I was to receive a grant from the National Association of Realtors. And I submitted my proposal to the borough. I submitted my proposal to the land bank. I did a presentation to the land bank, and still haven't heard anything other than that. I needed to do a presentation, but I think anybody that's submitting a proposal or looking to get something out of the borough should do a presentation. It's not level, it's not flat. I had my attorney address it with a response back from you all's attorney is that I need to submit a proposal that I did 16 months ago. So I am respectfully asking for a decision on my proposal.
Thank you. We'll be getting in touch with you soon, Ms. Spence.
That's what I heard 16 months ago, and then 6 months ago, and that's what the letter said from your attorney. I think it was 2 months ago, or a month ago. So what is soon? Is it a day, 2 days, a week, a month, another year? Like, why is it so difficult to do business? I'm not asking for a tax break of 200 and something thousand. I'm asking to actually pay taxes and attract have an amenity in town, in the borough, that the hipsters and the millennials actually really do like. So what is soon?
Anything further?
So you're not gonna answer my question?
You know, our
So,
policy.
Remind everyone, this is just public comment. So you'll receive a response, Ms. Spence, for certain, and it will be very soon.
Okay, thank you.
The others?
That concludes public comment.
Okay. Counselors, anything? Counselor Lindsay?
I just want to say that I have one problem in the borough, and that's I need a twin or a triplet because I can't do everything in the borough. It's humanly impossible for me to go. There's so much going on, and it's a good thing. I'm just kidding. It's a good thing. This Saturday and Sunday, there was so much going on, and this weekend there's a lot going on, and I love it. I went to go see the play. It was amazing. It was really good. It was a good play, and I knew the one star. She's African American, and it was her first time acting. She did an amazing job, and it was good. It was packed. It was a full house. It was full, and yeah. So it's just so much to do in Pottstown, and it's great. And it was nice. It was a nice day, and this weekend it was a lot going on. But I can tell you that John Armano, he did everything. I don't know how he does it, but John, if you could tell me your little tricks, you know how you did that, I please just give me a call. Let me know how you did it. But that's all I have.
Okay.
There's never a drink or food in his hand.
That's I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he do it.
Counselor Kirkland?
Nothing at this time. Thank you.
Okay. Counselor Proskal?
Well, Saturday was great for, a cemetery cleanup at Edgewood. Yeah, Andrew and Bronwyn did a great job organizing, and then I think about Habitat for Humanity was able to donate a bunch of trees and, yeah, giant catered, and the boys were excited because they thought they were gonna see zombies.
They better not. They better not see
During the
no
day,
zombies.
Maybe we can
I was
arrange
there
it.
too. It was a nice day.
Hey, Counselor Bounty.
Just one thing, I went to the powwow for the first time.
Oh.
And I loved it. There were so many people there. I got this cool little necklace. I thank Ron Williams for putting
Yes.
that on. It was lovely. And
Did
there
you
was
sample
so
the
many-
food?
I did not sample the food, but I bought stuff.
All right.
Yeah, me too.
So that's all I have. Oh, and I went with Don and Trinita.
Mm-hmm.
Vice President
She
Lebedinsky,
I
covered
stole
it.
your thunder.
she covered it.
Joe Cerisi was there as well too, so
Oh,
he's
great.
repping Pottstown.
He's another one that's everywhere. Every-
Yes.
I don't know how they do that. Mayor Henrik.
If you don't mind, I forgot to present a proclamation that I would like to read during my comment period right now, if that is okay.
Go ahead.
I apologize, just because we won't be here before this happens. I'd like to read a proclamation that the Borough of Pottstown shall declare the first Friday in June, which is June 3rd, 2020, to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day. This proclamation declares the first Friday in June to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day in the Borough of Pottstown. In proclaiming this, we honor and remember all victims and survivors of gun violence and declare that as a community and country, we must do more to reduce and ultimately eliminate gun violence. Whereas every day in America, more than 200 individuals are shot and wounded and more than 110 are killed by gun violence, which results in an average of nearly 16,000 gun homicides every year. Americans are 26 times more likely to die by gun homicide than people in other high-income countries. In Pennsylvania, there's an average of 1,628 gun deaths every year, with a rate of 12.4 deaths per 100,000 people, having the 31st highest rate of gun deaths in the United States. Gun homicides and assaults are concentrated in more densely populated areas, with more than half of all firearm-related gun deaths in the nation occurring in 127 cities. Communities across the nation, including Pottstown, are working to end the senseless violence with evidence-based solutions. Gun violence prevention is more important now than ever as the COVID-19 pandemic continues to exacerbate gun violence, with more than 2 years of increased gun sales, increased calls to suicide and domestic violence hotlines, and an increase in city gun violence. Whereas mayors and law enforcement officers know their communities best, are most familiar with local criminal activity and how to address it, are best positioned to understand how to keep their citizens safe, and are dedicated to protecting public safety in the communities where we serve. Support for the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens goes hand in hand with keeping guns out of the hands of children and away from people with dangerous histories. In January 2013, Hadia Pendleton was tragically shot and killed at age 15. On June 3rd, 2020, which would have been her 25th birthday, people across the United States will recognize National Gun Violence Awareness Day and wear orange in tribute to Hadia Pendleton and other victims of gun violence and the loved ones of those victims. This idea was inspired by a group of Hadia's friends who asked their classmates to commemorate her life by wearing orange, choosing this color for how it symbolizes the value of human life. Hunters wear orange in the woods to protect themselves and other hunters. Anyone can join this campaign by pledging to wear orange on June 3rd, the first Friday, June 2022, to help raise awareness about gun violence and honor the lives of gun violence victims and survivors. And in doing so, we renew our commitment to reduce gun violence and pledge to do all we can to keep firearms out of the wrong hands while encouraging responsible gun ownership and secure storage to help keep our children safe. Now, therefore, I, Stephanie Henrik, Mayor of the Borough of Pottstown, Pennsylvania, with support of the members of Borough Council and the citizens of Pottstown, do hereby proclaim the first Friday in June, June 3rd, 2022, to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day in the Borough of Pottstown By proclaiming this, I encourage all citizens to support their local community's efforts to educate one another, put items into place to prevent the tragic events of gun violence, and to honor and value human lives. And this motion was spearheaded by Moms Demand Action. I don't know if you recall, I believe last year, I and Mayor Jenna did a presentation by this organization about gun safety in the home and tips to keep guns out of kids' hands. So this is not an anti-gun or anti-Second Amendment proclamation. This is for common safety measures to store firearms safely in the home and keep them out of the hands of our kids. So, thank you.
Very good. Thank you all. I have nothing more to add. Meeting adjourned.
Good night. Take care.